If I had to sum up this entire video in a single word, it would be, again, like, I think at this point it's safe to say if we hear the words influencer and racism and controversy all in the same sentence, it's not going to surprise you. It's not going to surprise me.
So I'm not on TikTok, and thank God I'm not. I want to keep some and retain some of my brain cells. So it took a while for me to get hyped or know about the story, become aware of this viral story about this social media TikTok influencer podcaster named Brooke Schofield, I think, who has been canceled by the woke cult mob, who's been infected by the woke mind virus. You know, Elon Musk coined that term, and I think we should keep it going because she tweeted some stuff 10 years ago, some tweets that people are calling racist, but they're not. They're just edgy tweets. And she committed the cardinal sin of the woke cult of seemingly being more conservative, maybe even like a Trump supporter. And we all know that's the original sin of the left, so you can't do that.
Let's read what controversial things she said. All right, number one, I said so many accidentally racist things last night, I don't even know how I made it back to America. That was in 2015. Okay. Somebody else said, why do I have the most ratchet hair ever? And then she replied to that tweet and said, oh my God, I swear I had nappier hair this morning than most African Americans on the end of our country. Hashtag Afro. Here's another one. You can't trade lap dances for cheeseburgers because after a little while, no one will want a lap dance from a fat person. We're gonna end this girl's career because of these tweets. Okay, here's another one. I sure wish I didn't have to dress like a for work. Okay, this one was my personal favorite. What do you call a Mexican baptism? Bean dip. Now this is the tweet that really did her in. Guarantee if Zimmerman shot a white guy, this wouldn't even be a story. Newsflash, this wasn't a crime of racism, it was self-defense. That tweet, if you don't know what she's talking about just from that, is about the controversial death of a young black man named Trayvon Martin. And that was one of the first instances that sparked the creation of BLM as an organization and as a movement. And we all know those stories and those narratives are ones that you cannot disagree with. And if you do, you will be labeled a racist and a bigot. We all know that because we lived through BLM in 2020. So basically, all of these tweets came out, people were blasting her on every single platform, calling for her to be canceled, labeling her a racist, literally immediately within 30 minutes.
I mean, she's not wrong. If Zimmerman would have shot a white guy, it would have been a story, or it wouldn't have been as big of a story. That started a whole movement. It was basically a foundation of how Black Lives Matter, the entire organization, had its beginning. It started a series of events that went on for years and years and is still going on today. So she's not wrong. That's why sometimes you see these street interviews where they walk up to random black people on the streets and they'll ask them questions like, how many unarmed black men do you think is getting shot and killed by police every year in the United States? And some of these people will overshoot by so much. They'll say hundreds, dozens, thousands even, because the mainstream media makes it seem like that when it's actually very much the minority. And compared to how many unarmed white men are shot and killed by police, it's around the same ballpark. But because the way the media focuses on some stories over others, it makes it seem like it's extremely unbalanced, and it's not. So she's not wrong. Now, would I have said that? No, because I don't know. It's not something I would have thought or tweeted. And do I think she was probably trying to be a little bit edgy, or maybe this is when she was in her conservative era? Yeah, probably. But where is the lie? I think she even just liked the picture of a friend that was at a MAGA event or a conservative event or a Trump event. And that also caused the cancel mob to double down. Because how dare you like the picture of this person? That means you're even associating with the right, because mainstream media, entertainment, Hollywood, social media has basically made everyone believe, those who don't have common sense, made them believe that anybody who's slightly conservative, slightly right of the left must be all terrible Hitler types of people, right?
People uncovered even more of her old tweets from a few years later, when she was actually in college at ASU, and they saw that she was MAGA.
Oh my God!
Oh, that was the nail in the coffin, my friends. She tweeted this right after the 2016 election. America is great again. Oh, Brooke, I don't know if the mob will let you come back from this. You're in the dark side now, honey. Welcome over. She also tweeted, 2 types of people on Twitter right now. Those who know what they're talking about and those who support Hillary Clinton. I agree with her. Facts. She also said, I'd just like to know what percentage of Hillary voters get their political insight from Beyonce. Again, facts. The real kicker was that amidst all of this, she had the gall, the audacity to like her friend Aiden Ross's picture with Donald Trump after his record-breaking stream with the president. So now there are hundreds of additional videos screenshotting that post where you can see that she liked it. So yes, she had to do a third full apology just for that, for liking a friend's post where he was with Trump.
I'm not going to go through every tiny little bit of detail of this entire saga because so many people have already done it. Brett Cooper has done it. A lot of people have done it. People who are pro Brooke or anti-canceling her, and people who are very much pro-canceling her, like the D'Angelo, which is the black messiah of the woke left, calling her all types of racist for, again, tweets she made 10 years ago when she was a teenager or whatever, and tweets she's literally apologized multiple times for, which was her big mistake.
She made an apology video on her TikTok.
Obviously, by now you guys have seen the tweets that are circulating around. They unfortunately are not fake. Those are real tweets, like real things that I said. I feel the same way about them that you do. I think they're so disturbing, they're wrong, they're horrible, and they're disgusting.
So joking about nappy hair and Mexican baptisms, aka bean dips, are disturbing? No, they're jokes. They're jokes you made when you were 17 years old. Anyone with common sense can see that. Come on, okay.
Try not to be so emotional because I don't want it to seem like it's like a sympathy thing at all.
Her biggest mistake she could have ever made. There's a part of me that has absolutely no sympathy for her, because when you know that you're catering to a community like this that is willing and waiting, they're like little woke demons in a corner waiting with their pitchforks already sharpened, their torches already lit, waiting for you to say one little thing so they can take you down, because that's literally the only way they feel an ounce of joy or feel like they've accomplished anything, because they've accomplished nothing. The only way they can feel like they're good people without actually doing anything good is to bring somebody else down. So they're waiting, because your success makes their already ugly, dark hearts so much more dark, because they're jealous of your success. And how dare you be success as a white woman? That's a bigger original sin than being conservative, is to be born white. So you cater to this community already knowing that this was the community you're catering to. So in that sense, I have really no empathy and sympathy for you. It's the same thing with Tana Mojo, who apparently backstabbed her friend by denouncing her and kicking her off the podcast that they shared with her. I don't know if they were friends. I very much think a lot of these influencer friendships aren't real. I think a lot of these influencer relationships, marriages, even families are not real. People will keep up the long game to keep their rents and their bills paid. I think a lot of it's just a business partnership. So a lot of times these friendships are just like a tit for tat. If you can help me, I can help you. If you can keep me relevant and I can keep you relevant, then we are friends. Until you no longer serve that purpose, we are not friends. But for the sake of this story, Tana Mojo denounced her friend and apologized for liking her friends or commenting or supporting her friend's apology video, when Tana Mojo herself has been dragged to the mud, to the pits of woke hell and back, for tweets that were honestly objectively racist, for the tweets she made years ago when she was younger, and tweets she made that weren't even that long ago, and for other allegations for people who come out and say that Tana Mojo is racist and bigoted and all these things. Now, I don't know if she is, but I do know her tweets that she was canceled for multiple times now, had her whole show canceled that I think she had on MTV or something, on VH1, for tweets she made. She has been beaten down by the woke mob, and she voluntarily chooses to still cater to them. But by apologizing for commenting and supporting her friend on social media under her apology video, you're basically telling them, you own me, I am your puppet, I put the strings on gladly and happily. You know the people you're catering to, so when they cancel you and destroy your career, do not cry crocodile tears to me or to anyone else, because you know what you're doing. Especially Tana Mojo, because Tana Mojo has been through this. I'm not a fan of her, but she's been through this, right?
So just imagine if your best friend and your business partner started to get ruthlessly attacked online for things that she had done in her past. I mean, ruthless career-ending attacks. And ironically, those are things that you had also done and faced backlash for in years prior. I think most people in a good, sane, and moral society would come to their friend's defense, offer some perspective or support, or at the very least, just stay out of it. But no, that was not the case with YouTuber Tana Mojo. When Brooke Schofield, who is her best friend, business partner, and co-host of her podcast, was exposed and canceled last week, people assumed that Tana would stand by her friend, but that couldn't be farther from the truth. And it just goes to show how toxic and consuming this woke mind virus is, and that no matter what, the left will turn on and eat their own.
So a part of me has no empathy, because you know who you're catering to. You know, it's the same thing with H3H3 when they were being canceled. And H3H3 basically turned against Dr. Jordan Peterson after having him on the podcast, and Dr. Jordan Peterson said, be careful, you know who you're catering to. And then the same community that he catered for canceled him. So I have no empathy. But maybe she's just naive. I don't know. I want to say a little bit of a side story, and it's relevant. So please hang in there with me. There is a influencer. She was a famous vegan influencer. Her name was Anissa Anil. Famous. If you were vegan around the time or you're on social media at the time, you probably remember her story. At the height of her influencing fame, she just disappeared off the social media. She disappeared off the internet. She announced that she was leaving social media. She was leaving the internet. Not because she was falling off, not because she was being canceled. At the height of her social media fame, young, beautiful, vegan influencer, she just got off of social media. She finally made a video and just articulated the reasons why she decided to get off of social media. And she said, you don't get it. I have been on social media since I was 11 years old. And I came to the realization that my entire personality was created through the projection of social media in my audience. My thoughts, my values, my perception, my perspective of the world and myself and other people around me was all created and curated by the audience on social media. She said I had no idea who I was without that because I was just allowing the projections of what I should be to make me who I am. And she understood, she could see the dangers of that, and she needed to make a radical change and completely detach. That was probably one of the best decisions she could have ever made for herself. That video that she came back and explained why she left is years old. And there's still recent comments on that video, people saying like, oh my God, I didn't get it now, but I get it today. Oh my God, this is still relevant. Oh my God, yes, this saved my life. Yes. Because again, her audience was very young, so they didn't get it at the time, but now they're getting older and they're realizing the damaging effects of social media. That was the best decision she could have ever made and probably saved her freaking life and saved her freaking soul and her mind and her mental health and her emotional health. And now she can just be who she wants to be and not be whoever the audience and the cancel mob and the woke mob wants her to be, because being a vegan is definitely leans into the woke progressive audience on social media, right? She was smart. She's smarter than people who are decades older than she is. Recognizing this is a dangerous path, let me get out of it.
I had the dream life. I had 500,000 people interested in me on social media, on Instagram, sorry. I had over 100,000 views on most of my videos on YouTube. To a lot of people, I made it. I was signed with, I still am technically signed with, and I don't want to model at all anymore, but I was signed with one of the biggest agencies in Australia. I had one of the biggest agencies in America want to sign me for modeling and for my YouTube. I had messages and messages of big companies, brands, sponsorships on my hands, and I was in LA and I was at a pinnacle of success in what I thought it was. I was dating a guy that was way more famous than me, way more successful, had an amazing car, beautiful beyond words, and he was fucking depressed. I was surrounded by all this wealth and all this fame and all this power, and yet they were all miserable. And I had never been more miserable. Everything I did was for views, for likes, for followers. I don't even know who I am. I don't know what I stand for. I let numbers define me at 12, and that stopped me becoming the person that I am and that I should be. There are so many things I could have done with my time that I could have just enjoyed. I'm getting really emotional because I feel like at 12, I thought I was nothing. And then here at nearly 19 with all of these followers, I don't even know what is real and what is not, because I've let myself be defined by something that is so not real. When the last 2 weeks of LA, I turned off my phone for a week, and this is when this all happened, because I realized I didn't know myself without social media.
If Brooke is smart, if she has an ounce of common sense, what she would do, first of all, stop fucking apologizing. You did nothing wrong. Your tweets then and today aren't hurting anyone. I am a black woman. If you need my permission, white progressive woman, I'm telling you, you can stop apologizing. I'm not hurt by it. My whole black family, my cousins, my uncles, my grandma, my whole entire black community don't know who the fuck you are. And if they saw the tweets, they would not care and probably giggle at a couple of them. She made one about like people don't want lap dances from fat people because that was supposed to make her fat phobic. She's right. People don't want lap dances from fat people. I've been to a strip club 2 times. I never got a lap dance from a fat person, but I got a lap dance from a woman with a fat ass, and it almost crushed me. I couldn't breathe. So she's right about that. So no, you'll be surprised. Most people agree with most of her tweets. They're not racist. You didn't do anything wrong. Stop apologizing. They canceled you. They kicked you out. Run. You have a way out. They gave you a way out. They let you go. They stopped controlling. Go. They kicked you out. Let them cancel you. You are now no longer a part of their community. That is the best thing they could have ever done for you. If you are smart, don't go back and don't apologize. Girl, you made enough money from the podcast. You made enough money from TikTok. You can start your own podcast. Don't be scared. There's enough people out there that are so sick of this woke cancel mob culture that you will have an audience. And no, it won't just be the MAGAs, and it won't just be the conservatives, it won't just be the conspiracy theorists, and it won't just be the Trump supporters. It will be regular people that will support you and follow you because they are too sick of this. They're sick of not being able to say what they want. You can live without fear, and you can live without being controlled. Don't be a dumbass like Tana Mojo. Take this opportunity and run the fuck away. Go away for a while, get your head together, and realize this was a blessing in disguise. Stop apologizing right this second and never apologize ever again, especially as to bow down to a culture that is willing to rip your life apart the second they have the opportunity to do so. You don't want that as an audience. You definitely don't want those people as friends. When they can no longer control you, that's when you start to panic. That's all I'm going to say about this, because honestly, I don't actually give a fuck. But it was an interesting story, and it made me think about Anissa O'Neil, and it made me think about like how grateful I am to be a millennial, not born into social media, and not to be a part of this community, because I hate being controlled, and I would hate to have to cater to a fucking community that's willing to cancel me the moment they get a chance to. Anyway, like, comment, and subscribe, hit the bell to get a notification when I do upload. All that really does help with the algorithm, guys. You can donate if you'd like to. My PayPal and Cash App link is in the comment section down below. You can super thanks. And you guys have an amazing, beautiful day. Bye.